Hey leaders of the pack, we're talking all about creating boundaries. It's such an important thing. As leaders and protectors of our home, of our community, it is our responsibility to know how to create boundaries, set those boundaries, what they are, and this is how I'm going to set them and I'm going to keep to them. But I want to confess something to you, and that is that I'm talking from experience here. I've been a community leader for many, many years, and for some of those years, I did not have boundaries. I did not create boundaries to say, community, I'm here to serve you. But these are the boundaries that will not be impinged by you on my family. Thank God my family has forgiven me for that. Thank God I recognized it early enough that hopefully it didn't create major issues for my children, for my wife in the coming years in the future. But it was a real rude shock when I realized that other people's children were more important to me than my children. I had not created a boundary that Mr. and Mrs. Cohen or Smith or whatever it is, I care for your child. I'm sorry that they're doing badly at school. I'm sorry they're going through depression. I'm sorry you don't know how to educate them. I'm sorry they're on drugs. I'm sorry all of those different things. And I will serve you with my entire heart and soul. But don't forget, I have my own children who are in danger of, God forbid, being on drugs or being suicidal, God forbid, or not doing well at school or everything else that your children are. I spent 3 years serving other people and I forgot. I fell in a ditch, I fell in a hole, and I forgot that my family was the most important thing. People turned up on my doorstep at 7:30 in the morning, community members. That's not okay. But that's my problem, because I did not create those boundaries. I did not set those rules in my contract and to the people. I wanted to be Mr. Nice Guy. So I was Mr. Nice Guy to everybody else. But what about my children? What about my wife? I want you to ask yourself the same question. What boundaries are you not creating so that you're Mr. Nice Guy, so that you're Mr. Rich Guy, so that you're Mr. Know-it-all guy, whatever it is, to everybody else, but your family is being trampled over because there are no boundaries there? Where are the boundaries of your work? What are your boundaries in hours of work? What are your boundaries of your mates, your friends? Are they allowed to touch your wife, speak to your wife? If they are, in what way? What are the boundaries that you've created on that? When the leaders of the pack came here to Israel in October 2018, it was the first rule: my wife is off limits. That doesn't mean you can't talk to her. That doesn't mean you can't be nice to her and have a wonderful conversation. She's an amazing, amazing woman, but you will not touch her. You will not touch my wife. You will not touch my girls unless they put their hand out to you, and that's it. You can shake their hand. Was that difficult? No, it wasn't difficult to create that boundary because I had made mistakes before. Gents, it's up to us to protect our wives. It's up to us to protect our children. If our self-esteem is so low that we're not willing to create that boundary, then it's time to suck it up. Start being a man and say, my family and the boundaries that are going to protect them and keep them safe physically, spiritually, and emotionally are far more important than being liked by some other person or making another buck because I'm allowing people into my home that shouldn't be in my home, or whatever the case. We know what the real priorities are. It's our Garden of Eden, men. That's the first place that we have to create boundaries and we have to protect. And if we don't have the self-esteem to do it, as I say, it's time to wise up. It's time to humble up, because you have been elected by the Holy One, blessed be He, our Father in heaven. He has elected you to be the protector of your home, the protector of your family. And the first way to do that is create boundaries. You know, I've been involved in security for many, many years. And we always say, if you have to use your weapon, if you have to use your hands, if you have to use your feet, you've already lost. You should have created the boundaries and stopped the attack, stopped the threat far before it came anywhere near you or your family. So it's time to create boundaries, guys. This week is a time to create boundaries. Sit down with your wife and kids, create the boundaries. This is what is acceptable in our home. This is what is not acceptable in our home. And I, as your father, as your husband, are taking the first responsibility to create those boundaries, to make sure that they exist, and to always protect you. You can count on me. I am your father. I am your son. I am your whatever it is, male in this relationship. Therefore, I will protect you and create boundaries right now.